Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing my favorite deck, Esper Vial. That's right, we've got Aether Vial, and we've got the Esper colors and all the powerful spells that those offer. Plow, Force, Brainstorm, and some really powerful blue-black creatures like Psychic Frog, Baleful Strix, and the newest addition to the deck, Overlord of the Balemurk. Let's talk about this card. It just got printed in Duskmourn. It is really good value. Basically, you pay a colorless and black and you kind of suspend it. It's called Impending. And it just chills on your board as an enchantment and takes down each end step. It goes down one counter, and when it hits 0 counters, it comes into play as a 5/5. And it has a great enters ability, both when it attacks and when it enters, Uro style. So you can, when you attack or when it enters, you mill 4 cards, and then you can return a non-avatar creature card, so it can't return itself if you hit a redundant Overlord, or a Planeswalker card. So it can also be a Teferi. Pretty powerful. And it doesn't just have to be one of the ones that you flipped. It can be anything in your graveyard. So if you do this multiple times, you're going to get like powerful creatures like Solitude, like Felia, who happens to combo with Overlord. So often I'll just play Overlord out and it'll flip a Felia, and then next turn I can play Felia, attack, and then when Felia attacks, she can blink this out, and when it comes back, it is no longer impending. You still get the trigger for it entering, and then it can attack the subsequent turn as a 5/5. That will also trigger again. This gets out of control very quickly. I've had games where I've cast Solitude, the same Solitude, like 3 times, just exiling all my opponent's creatures. Very strong value engine. We can also hit it with Flicker Wisp. So I'm playing 4 Flicker Wisps, 4 Felia. This really is like Flicker control, because the other card that you want to flicker is Gilded Drake. You may not know what this does, but you will. This card is insane. So this is a very old, like 25-year-old reservalist card, pretty expensive. You, when it comes into play, you swap control with your opponent's creature. You can grab any creature, grab their best creature, grab their Archon of Cruelty, grab their Atraxa, grab their Devourer of Destiny, whatever the best card that they have out. Just take it and you give them Gilded Drake. And that might not seem that great because, hey, didn't you just give them like a flip Delver that they can turn around and attack you with? Yes, but if you blink it, you can just do the same thing over and over. So maybe they never really even get to attack with it because it just keeps exchanging hands back and forth, and each time you go up a creature. So this is just like a ridiculously powerful effect that has always been a part of the Esper Vial shell, which originated many years ago, but is suddenly playable again, thanks to Overlord being so powerful and thanks to people not really playing a lot of Orcish Bowmasters. So we can play cards like Baleful Strix that are value. Of course, Tameo is in the deck. Psychic Frog's in the deck. These are great cards that pitch to force that help win the game. And a lot of games I win is just like I'm playing blue-black tempo, essentially. I open with a frog and I force their interaction, and eventually the frog takes over the game. Like, you can do that route too, but you have exile-based removal, which is very strong against blue-black Reanimator, which is the 25% of the meta. So why am I playing this now? Not just because Orcish Bowmasters is probably lower than it's ever been since it was printed, but also because exile-based removal stops them from being able to bring back creatures from their graveyard when they hit like a Metamorphosis Fanatic. It's also worth noting that Overlord can easily help you find a Fairy Macabre post-board. This matchup is going to come up time and time again. I'm almost certain we'll face it here. And this deck has at Eternal Weekend, Asia, this had a 100% win rate against Blue-Black Reanimator. And the one person playing this deck faced Blue-Black Reanimator 4 times there and won every single time. So it's a very strong deck against the best deck in the format. And then against other decks that are top decks, like I would say the 4 top decks right now are Moon Stompy and Painter, both of which we've got 4 blasts that we can bring in here. And the other one would be Eldrazi, and we've got 4 consigns that we can bring in. And Karnforge is kind of like an Eldrazi too. And then if we come up against Karnforge, which I faced it twice during the previous league that I just published on YouTube. So these are coming in. So we're bringing in 6 cards against them. Very strong. So that's the sideboard. We don't have Recruiter of the Guard, which is what this deck has traditionally played. Recruiter of the Guard. I think it's just too slow. And I'd much rather play Flicker Wisp and potentially Flicker Drake or Flicker an Overlord So that's the big concession, is like this isn't as value driven as the traditional Esper Vial decks. It's much more like about beating face with a 5/5 or beating face with a flying 3/1 or using a flying 3/1 to block your Gilded Drake so that you don't die. You know, there's a lot of synergy here. And I'm looking forward to showing you all that. Just a word on the mana base. We're playing 15 fetches. I think that fetches are very important when you're playing Surveil lands, when you're playing 3 basic lands. You need to be able to figure out what you want to get at any given time. I'm down to just 1 Karakas here and down to 3 wastelands. I just am not as high on these utility lands, and I really think that the main way, when I lose with this deck, it's almost always because they just like comboed me out, or because my mana somehow failed me and I wasn't able to get up off the ground. But when you have mana underneath you and you're not up against a combo deck, which, one of my previous leagues, I think 2 days ago, was like 5 back-to-back combo decks. So I do think we'll face combo decks, and this is not a particularly strong positioned deck for, stack-based combo. I'm not going to try to pretend this has like no bad matchups. Combo is a weakness, but Blue-Black Reanimator specifically is not a big weakness. So it's good against what is good right now. And hopefully at Eternal Weekend, I don't play up against a bunch of combo decks. That could happen, and I would definitely be better off playing Blue-Black Reanimator if that comes up. But I think I'm going to be pretty happy that I have Swords of Plowshares and Solitude with all the Reanimator running around. All right, so that is my deck tech. Very long, very comprehensive, but I hope you enjoy these. And we're going to dive straight into the rounds. So as always, we're going to play 5 rounds. Legacy League. Be sure to leave a comment if you see me do any sort of misplay. I'll never shoot the messenger. I always appreciate and reply to any comments that people have on my play and my piloting decisions. And I also encourage you to subscribe, because once I get hit 1,000 subscribers, I can apply for the MTGO creator program, and then I'll have access to all the cards. And I don't even know if I'll have to pay for play points anymore, and I could just record tons of videos. Right now, I like paid for these out of pocket, and it was a whole conversation with my wife. It was like $70 or something for these when they first came out, and a lot of play points lost when I was just trying to get my bearing with the deck. So that'll be really great if you can help me subscribe, help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Once I'm at 1,000 subscribers, I genuinely will not ask for subscriptions or anything like that. I don't even think this is going to be like one of those like and subscribe things. I just need to get to 1,000 so I can get into this program. And with that, I'll see you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against Toplop, likely Reanimator player. My internet is like super slow for some reason. Like sometimes it just randomly gets really slow, even though I'm paying for gigabit internet. So that is frustrating, and hopefully that's not a big issue. This hand seems pretty good. You may be thinking like, oh, but what do you do if they reanimate a fatty? Well, we do have Gilded Drake. We do have Solitude if we can find a white card. I think I'm going to keep this. I do want to look at their list if I can get this to load. So it looks like they are on the typical Blue-Black Reanimator list. So yeah, I'm going to keep. Okay, and I can already see that like my internet's spinning right here. Like this means that it hasn't passed priority to them. So hopefully that doesn't come up, because this deck is very click intensive. It requires a lot of thinking and deliberation, and I definitely don't want to lose to time, which I have lost a few games or a few matches to time over the past few days. This said, I think my win rate with this deck is positive. It's just it's hard to learn. And I will tell you, in paper, my win rate has been ridiculous with this deck. I'm just going to start with, I'm not going to worry about Strix right now. I do want to get a Tameo on the board, and I'm going to hope that they interact with it because I have a second one. Okay, they may not be on Reanimator. They just played a Tundra. Okay, they're plowing. This is precisely what I hoped would happen. All right, so decks they could potentially be on, I definitely think it's possible that they're on something like Dreadnought. That's the main Tundra deck. They could also be on the Energy Tempo deck. So you can see like every time I make a decision, that little spinner thing happens. That's due to my internet connectivity. I'm playing as fast as I can. They're brainstorming. So I'll definitely be happy to pitch this Baleful Strix if they do something consequential, since I don't have black mana currently. If I find black mana, I'll be very happy, but I'm not going to force to save Tameo, even though that's the only thing I've got going on. I'll just be content to just chill and draw cards. Okay, Esper. They may be on Esper Stoneblade. That's fine. I'm not going to force. I'm going to outvalue the value deck. Their value deck cannot value as hard as our value deck can. And we have no plays. We'll pass. Brainstorm again. So they are definitely getting a lot of cantrips, getting a lot of interaction spells. If they do somehow like Caldra, I can Drake that, and that can be very strong against them. But they do have exile-based removal, so it's risky. I think we do Force here, and I'm going to pitch the Strix, as I said. This is a 2-for-1 for them. Yeah, and if they force back, I would happily force back as well, because I just need time, basically, to build my board, and I need land. Please give me a land. Okay, I'm not getting the land I need. Yeah, like Stoneforge could just be like if they go get pre-war formalware, for example, that's probably what they were going to go get. That could be a problem. So I'm probably priced into countering the next one and just ignoring the Gilded Drake angle for now. Thoughtseize, that's fine. They might take force if they have a follow-up. Yeah, our lands are not cooperating, and it has everything to do with me being a coward and fetching a basic. Had I fetched the Undercity Sewer, then I wouldn't have to worry about this. But they could very well have Wastelands in hand that we just haven't seen. They did opt to take Flicker Wisp, which is interesting. Flicker Wisp does deal with Caldra, though. One of our many, many answers to Caldra in our deck. I think we have 16 answers to Caldra. 19, actually. Teferi, Baron, the Solitudes, the Forces. Yeah, like Caldra is not going to be a good thing to get here. I'm almost certain they're going to get pre-war formalware if they have a way to do it. They're getting lower on cards. If this is a second Stoneforge, I feel like I have to. It sucks, but okay. So we're both basically hellbent, but they have a lot more land than we do. Can I get something relevant? No. Okay. This sucks, but yeah, we just have to be patient. We can outvalue them, but we may not win this game. I'm just going to F6 here. I definitely think they'll take the Drake. All right. That's what I'm talking about. We'll pass, and I'm going to assume that they don't have anything they can do here, so I'm going to yield until the end step, and then I'll just go fetch the Surveillant. Even if they show me a Wasteland at this point, I'm just going to get the Wasteland out of the way. Cards we want to see. Definitely Baleful Strix would be good here. So they did not shuffle their Ponder, which implies to me that they have something good coming. At this point, they've got so much mana. I'm just going to put that in the graveyard. I need action. Maybe that was a mistake because I could have just gotten another Surveillant. Oh, I should have done this. I don't think I can do this now. I think I can only do it at sorcery speed. Yeah. Well, that was a misplay. That was like totally free to do. Like we've got nothing going on over here. I think we're almost certainly going to lose this game just due to the way that our mana lined up. And my decision to force, which I don't think was a bet. I mean, we would have lost the game several turns ago had I not forced. But we are going to get punished. They're going to go get pre-war formalware, and now they can use that to get back the other one. We don't have any sort of like... Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely punished for not grabbing. Not really punished, but like we should have done it. Okay, so they're going to have double here. They're probably not playing Daze, though, so if we do find another land, if I hadn't pitched that Delta and had just played it out, then we would be into Hardcast Solitude, which once we get into that territory, we do have a pretty decent shot if we can just keep doing that and 2-for-1ing them. But they're going to be able to go get Caldra probably. I'm not sure if they get Caldra. Oh, yeah, I guess they did have Caldra in hand. This is fine. I'm just going to try to draw a card so that I can cast a Solitude and exile it. I don't want to go down a card here. They can certainly have Force. All right. I mean, it probably makes sense to just plow here right now. I'll wait till their upkeep, and I'll plow in their upkeep. They have so much mana that I don't think they have any way to blink. And I'll do it with this mana. Okay. So if they're smart, they're probably playing Cryptocoat or Lion's Hash. I don't think 2 is enough. Okay. This represents something that's even higher priority than... Oh, they didn't attack. I guess they're going to do pre-war formalware. Really need a land here. Psychic Frog is not great, but I'm going to play it. I suspect that they've used 2 exile-based removal, but they very well could have drawn into more. We had to let that go. Here comes pre-war Formalware, getting probably a Stoneforge back. I am playing this out because we are playing faster than they are, which is uncommon. If you know that I'm like the slowest player on MTG. But not right now. They are taking a lot more game actions than we are, though. That won't be the case next game. All right. So the priority here is absolutely hitting their Tameo if we get a chance. This Caldera does represent a threat later on in the game. They could also be playing Teferi, which could bounce this to hand. Their own Psychic Frog. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hope to draw a land here. I've beaten myself up a lot about not doing that one land. All right. So, I mean, they're tapped out. I'll just do it here. Again, I'm not going to use these Solitudes. They're going to be really good when we eventually are able to use them. But I am not going to let this frog live. And I will sadly pitch cast Solitude if I need to. So I'm taking 3, 4. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to flinch with the Solitude. Yeah, the victory is definitely slipping further and further away, though, with each passing turn, though. And this, I think we let it happen. I'm not worried about losing to that. I'm going to be losing to these anyway. And assuming that some of my Solitudes can hit the table. Okay. They are still 2 cards away from being able to... I wouldn't be surprised if they had a... Okay, so we can do it now. I am going to go ahead and do it now because they don't have Hardcast Force up. I will just get the Scrubland here. Yeah, because we've already got blue. So I'll just go ahead and cast this out. Yeah, we'll hit that one. It doesn't really matter. Let's see if they put something in because they didn't attack with it. Okay, are they putting another pre-war in? Oh, Batterskull. Batterskull also represents death for us. We can chump for a turn, and then we can... I think that's better than trying to cast Solitude here. Or what we can do next turn is we can potentially just cast Yorion and blink this. No, it's not going to be alive. So that's not going to be an option. I think I do need to do this now. They can just equip to that. I'm going to wait and... yeah, I think I'm just going to block and gain some life here. It's pretty weak. And this is going to tick up in the meantime. They could equip Formalware onto it. I'll see if they do that, and then I'll Solitude it. Because they could Solitude here. They're still not going to kill me this turn. Yeah, now I'm pretty sure if they attempt to equip pre-war, I can... Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I'll exile this. And I'm pretty sure I've lost this game, but I'm not going to concede because they're like lower on clock than me. And I'm just going to put up a fighting chance here. They don't have the ability to equip it to the other one. So we're going to drop the 2 life here. I don't think they have anything they can do to kill us. This turn, I think we do get another turn. I'm trying to think of what cards we could draw that would be useful. Also, they can actually just regrow. So, yeah, if we get exactly Solitude and they don't have a way to counter it, that can buy us a little bit of time. But they are very close to ultimating. Yeah, so this is Solitude or bust, I think. Overlord actually is not terrible here. They can plow it, but we gain life. They're not going to be able to... they are going to see what we're doing. They can equip pre-war on it. Let's see what would make sense to bring back. Felia can blink. Flicker Wisp can hit it. I think Flicker Wisp is probably more useful than Felia here. Flicker Wisp can also hit that. I'm trying to think of ways that we're not dead. Gilded Drake can take that away from them. They could just bounce it back into their hand. I think I'm going to concede. I don't see a path forward. And I just kind of burned like a minute on my clock thinking about that. Okay, let's go into game 2. So I don't do any sideboard substitution for this at all. So I'll just show you what my sideboard is. I don't think you bring in Consign. I think that's a trap. All these cards are bad. So we're just going to run it back. Most important thing is we play tight because if there's a game 3, we definitely want to have enough time on our clock that we can win. If I did have cards to board in, I'd probably board out Force. This is a keep. So I'm going to open Tundra Vial, I think. And I don't expect them to have any forces at all. And I want to have my mana. Next turn I have Vial into potential Brainstorm if they attempt to exile my Tameo. This would be a card to force if they have a force. Even though they're not a tempo deck. I mean, they could ignore this and just try to outvalue me. But they know that that's probably a folly. So they're going to stop me there. Okay. I'm just going to F6 through the turn. I don't suspect they're going to do anything other than maybe play a Tameo. Okay. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to hold Tameo for a turn. Because I think it's highly likely they can remove her. I'm going to keep that. They just forced. We want to get that back out. We're going to take our time and we're going to outvalue these people. This person. Top lob. I'm sorry, these people. There is the Stoneforge, which I think we just let it happen. Yeah. It's probably going to be for Caldera. If it is for Caldera, then I'm going to Drake it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get Drake up to, or get Vial up to 2 so I can Drake instant speed and uncounterably. They can still kill the Drake, but it is pretty good if you can do that. I think I'm going to Brainstorm first at this point because I want to ensure that I hit a land. If I can hit a land, that's really good. And just to double check, they did get Caldera, right? Okay, where is the log? Yeah, they got Caldera. Okay, we didn't get, but we could go ahead and waste the Tundra, which I think is fine. And then next turn we can suspend Overlord. The card that I'm least likely to use, and then actually I want to hide Gilded Drake. We're not going to need it for 2 turns. So I'll just do like that. I'm going to play this out. I'm going to do this with the hope. I should have, just in case they are playing days, I don't think they are. I should have cast this first. I'm just going to F6 here. They can definitely hit me. It's fine. Wow, they don't have a land. That's... Oh, wait, never mind. That was their upkeep. They do have a land. Okay, so we're probably going to get called right here. That's fine. They can definitely go aggro. Something to be cognizant of. But I'm not super worried about this. Okay. So options. We know we have Strix on top of our deck. We could just play up Felia and Felia. We Felia instep. We could Tameo instep. This ticks up, and then we have lots of options. We could potentially Drake both of their creatures or an additional creature. I think that's pretty safe to do. I'm going to do that. And then if they force the Felia, this would be a good turn to try to Drake just because they're tapped out. But if they have any counter magic, I guess they already did use their force. All right, they're coming in for a hug. They're coming in with that too. Okay, so I think I am going to attempt to Felia here. Just because they attacked with that. And they may want that to go in their graveyard. But like taking this out of play is worth doing. It prevents the damage. They may plow it. Okay, let's go to blocks here. Felia is really strong though because she can attack and like blink the germ out of existence. That's fine. Okay, so Felia did her job. We're just going to take the damage here. So we'll take 5, I think, because I already successfully blocked. Now they do have... Okay, so let's see what they're going to do. They might try to get rid of my Vial. Okay, so I'm just going to activate here. I'll go ahead and put Tameo in. But yeah, losing our Vial sucks. So we're definitely going to need to successfully take away their germ here. And I do think that's the play. They're not going to be able to re-equip this. They may be able to just exile it, which is fine. Oh, no, I should have done that in the opposite order. Now I can't attack with Tameo. That was dumb. All right, sorry, everybody. That was a total misplay. Yeah. I'm not, I'm definitely not going to chump with Tameo. I think that'd be a mistake. I will block Stoneforge if they attack with Stoneforge with Tameo. Because I don't think they have any damage-based way of killing Tameo. I don't think they're even playing Bowmasters or anything. That is fine. Yeah, that was just really dumb for me. Because if I attack with Tameo first, they don't have a flyer. Yeah, I missed a clue. I don't know whether that'll be consequential. Okay. Yeah, I think they're probably going to take Strix. Strix is pretty good here. Okay, and now they're just going to start punching us with the Drake. But I will be able to get a clue next turn. And I do have 13 life to work with. So it's not the end of the world. They're down to 1 card. So them having to force and do other stuff has been good for us. I think we Overlord here. I'm going to attack first just to get that out of the way. The other thing I could do is just crack the clue and hope to draw a land. But I think Overlording is more proactive. And I can return a... Well, actually, I don't have a Drake. I might be able to find a Drake. What I want to do is return a Felia so I can flip her next turn. Or it'll be 2 turns. I will return a Flicker Wisp if I find one. All right, and I am slipping behind on clock. There's the Flicker Wisp we wanted. Do we want Flicker Wisp or do we want Felia? We can definitely cast Felia. I think Strix is fine. I can definitely cast that next turn. Yeah, I'm going to do Strix. They're going to be able to hit us for 3 here. I will not F6 just because I might have to Emergency Solitude something. Strix is the best way for us to draw into land, which is the real bottleneck here since they removed... Okay, so they are going to be able to potentially plow here, and there's not a lot we can do about it. They might Thoughtseize again. Okay, they are going to plow. That's fine. I don't care about Tameo. She's already yielded us a card. They are getting a 2-for-1 here, and they are putting more pressure on low table. Okay. Yeah, we are in trouble. And I think the Felia, like the clue thing might be consequential. Oh, that's great. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do first is I am going to go ahead and go black. I'll keep blue up. Black, blue, Strix. Okay, we get a Vial. Do I want to plow or do I want to Vial? I don't think they're going to attack in. Maybe they attack in and yeah, I think it's worth getting a Vial online. We're looking at a lot of damage here, but we got to be optimistic. I will block. Will I block Drake here? I think I block Snapcaster Mage and just hold out hope that... No, because Snapcaster is potentially dangerous if they have pre-war. Okay, let's think about this. There are a lot of ways we can completely flip the script with this Drake. I think I'm going to block this because this represents 2 damage. And I'll take 4. But this is like a perfect target for pre-war Formaware. Okay, they have a Tameo. Do they have a Brainstorm? No. Okay, good. All right. So this represents optimism. The fact that I kept this around. Psychic Frog is good. So we can plow this and we can potentially Frog. I think that's fine. All right. We're going to have to win game 3 really fast if we can get there. I think I have to plow the Drake now. It would be reckless for me not to plow it at this point. If they have pre-war Formaware, our goose is probably cooked. We'll see whether they attack with the... okay, they're attacking with everything. All right, that trigger's fine. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to plow this. Okay, and now I'm just going to go to blocks, and I'm going to block this, but I am not going to discard. I just want to prevent the damage. I don't care about this actual creature. Maybe I should care about it, but Solitude is really good. They have another one, so they're going to be able to get pre-war, and I think we're dead. I'm trying to think of how we wouldn't be dead here. Because we're so low in life. Yeah, they're getting outground. I didn't think this would happen. I haven't been outground by any fair deck. I've run out of time, but I ran out of time with like a winning board state. Okay, so this, let's think about this. I think I need to attack here. So I'm going to attempt to do so. We'll exile 1, 2, 3 lands. Doesn't matter. All we use is creatures. Now I'm going to attempt to attack. I don't care about extra cards. I just want to get I don't care about extra damage. I just want to get the card. Okay. That is not going to do it. I think we've lost because they're going to be able to pre-war 4 more and probably equip it. Maybe not. I'm gonna feign strength. Oh wait, I can. Yeah, let's draw a card. Okay, well that sucks. Yeah, we can't even get. We can get Uro next turn, or the other elemental creature thing, Yorion next turn. Yeah, they can attack us for 2, but if they pre-war 4 more, they can attack us for more than that. What they should probably do is pre-war and then get Snapcaster and use that to plow. If they have a land, they can flip Tameo here. They can flip Tameo that way. They're still a turn from rebuying, but they could get Force of Will here. They can't. Never mind. I'm sorry. They can't rebuy immediately. They can make it to where we have to discard a card to Psychic Frog, though. Next turn, we will have this 5/5. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And no, I would not consider, buffing my frog just to gain a little life. I'm going to play optimistically, even if the reasons for optimism have long since left the building. Taking this up to 3 does give us the potential. We'll see what we're going to get off this, and then we can use that to decide. That's very good, and we can put that into play at instant speed. They do have they don't have the ability to pre-war. So what we can do this turn, I'm not going to use the ability. I'm going to draw. I do think it's worth just playing this out, seeing what we draw. But I'm almost certain just going to hardcast a Solitude. Okay, Psychic Frog is good. So I think what we do is we Solitude now while they have 1 card. And while they're unable to rebuy. Let's see. We've got plenty of black. I'm going to get a Tundra. They definitely could be playing. Should we get a Swamp? I guess we could get a Swamp here. We've got plenty of white. I'm worried about getting screwed off colors, because I've got all the other colors I need. So we'll go white, white, and we'll just attempt to go ahead and Solitude now. And I'll just remove one of these. But the important thing is this is a blocker for whatever they get with pre-war 4 more. I think they're probably going to pre-war 4 more and block so that they can get rid of my Overlord. I guess. Okay. All right, we've got our Overlord. Overlord can do a lot of damage to Tameo if they don't have something. But again, they have pre-war 4 more. We've got like nothing going on here. I'm just going to F6. Save time. I'll F6 again. Like every decision, like there were so many instances where like I could have like just pitch cast Solitude or something. I held on. I'm trying to play like a true control gamer and get really close to the line without really close to the edge without falling into the abyss. So I would play pre-war firmware and then they will return to plow. They're probably going to plow this. Yeah, that makes sense. They do have a Snapcaster in the yard. Okay, there's the pre-war. Question is are they going to get a Thoughtseize here? They're going to get another plow. Probably going to plow our Solitude so that we can't gain life. Yeah, we're back up to 10. They don't have good attacks. This is not a good attack. Wait, what's happening? It's not letting me block? Okay, well that sucks. So I am going to... Can I hold priority here? It's not letting me. Okay, that was like, I think because I said always yield. So I do think we go ahead and let this tick up. Yeah, because they probably don't have a force at this point, and we need to get closer to Yorion. That's a bad pickup. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this. I am going to attack Tameo just to kill her. Since they did the minus thing there. That was my window to kill her. And now I'm just going to get Yorion and pass. I have 6 minutes to win 2 games. So we're not winning this. I'll just say it right now. But I am going to F6. If they attack, I will pitch cards to Psychic Frog to make it big enough to block something. Since we're not going to win, I'm not going to F6. I'm going to respond and I'm going to try to beat this. Yeah, that's a powerful card. Very powerful. Okay, so now they can potentially kill us with Caldera. So we're going to need some other cards to be able to stop this. Okay, so we'll just take the damage here from Caldera. If they attack with Snapcaster, do I pitch my entire hand to kill Snapcaster rather than take 4? I think I do. Wait, let's block first. Now it should give me a window. I mean, the last card could be Plow for sure. Yep, it sucks to do this, but I feel like this is how we win the game. I don't think that Yorion is going to be good enough. And I don't want to take all this damage. Oh, actually, it's lethal if we don't block, so we have to block. But we didn't have to pitch the cards. Okay, let's see what they're getting. Island. Do they have a Ponder or something? Yeah. They have definitely had good stuff going on the entire game. This is a great value deck. And you could definitely argue that maybe this is superior to Esper Vial if it's grinding me out this way. Because, I mean, this does have Thoughtseize, so that gives it a little more game against combo. So I can't tick this up. I could draw a 3-drop, but I'm unlikely to draw a 5-drop here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attack Teferi. Yeah, I think I hold the Strix back. No, I could attack Teferi and attack them and draw into something that can potentially stop this. It doesn't really matter. Oh, what? It freaking... I clicked through the attack. Yeah, I definitely should have attacked there. Sorry. I'm just going to concede. Yeah, that was... I was so focused on what I was doing and I accidentally clicked the OK button one too many times. So that was kind of an embarrassing showing of us just getting wrecked by another value deck. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm going to definitely rewatch that and try to figure it out though. Okay, and just a little more context into why I was even deliberating attacking with Baleful Strix. Teferi was on 1, and if you don't kill Teferi, it just starts creeping back up and they generate even more value. I wasn't keeping the frog back either way. Again, this is if I hadn't accidentally clicked through my attack. So I figured might as well put some damage on them. And all Baleful Strix was doing was potentially deterring an attack from Stoneforge Mystic. Caldera itself has first strike, and it's also indestructible, so it's not going to matter that, like the Strix's Death Touch ability is not going to matter in that situation. So we did need to draw into like a Flicker Wisp or something that could potentially... But I do think that game was absolutely winnable. And I think I just... missing that attack and also maybe a few other little small decisions I made cost us that game. But let's focus on round 2. We're up against Swirls 68. They are almost certainly a Painter player. I think this hand is all right. Felia is good against Painter. Felia is deceptively good at like exiling tokens and things like that. I think I'm just going to start off with some pressure and I'm going to put Tamio on the board. If they don't have a blast for some reason, like a lot of Painter decks play like 8 blasts, then that'll be great. Gilded Drake is not the best against them because it is blue. It might actually make sense if they blast to just force to keep Tamio alive so she can accrue value. That would feel very bad. They could be on a red combo deck if they're opening this, but Painter does do this. I think if we just let it happen, we're kind of happy that they're not playing an Urza Saga or something. All right. So this is a good pickup. I think I'm just going to plan to, until I know what they're on, I don't want to fetch. I'm just going to pass, and then I'll figure out a way to end step the Felia, but it might be off of basic planes. So Vexing Bauble is doubly dangerous against our deck because it shuts off our Solitudes as well. But I don't know that that'll be an issue because we are drawing a lot of land. Because this is definitely Painter. I would love for them to play a second creature here. Please play a second creature. Okay, they're not doing that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Felia. The reason why I wanted them to play a second creature is I could Drake this and then I could, Felia it. Interesting. Well, there is nothing I can do about this, unfortunately. So, yeah, that happens. All right. We're going to go get a Plains. Because I think it's fine to do that just to respect the fact that they could have Bloodwind or Magus. And we'll just play Ophelia out. All right. And doing damage to them is definitely worth doing early on because they are kind of an Ancient Tomb deck. I think what I do here is I do go ahead and use the Drake. That way I can just take their welder. Like the Drake does die, but it does buff Felia when it comes back through, and I can potentially use welder to weld their bobble out of play. Okay, so I'm going to bop that, and now we get our 2 damage, and Felia is going to become a 3 damage, and then Drake is just going to die when it comes back into play because there's nothing for it to target. And then we're almost certainly going to get our Surveil land here. So it just dies. And we can do this again with the other Drake later. Not with that Drake. That Drake is a goner. This monkey's gone to heaven. Great Furnace. Another welder. I think we probably just take their welder again. Oh, wow. Okay, this is great. I'm going to take all their welders. Assuming they don't have a blast. Yeah, if they have a blast, it's unfortunate. Because I do want to take all their welders. Okay, I'm going to get the Undercity Sewers is what we decided. Let's see what we can rip. Creatures would be great. Land is not bad. I think actually I'm going to take this because this represents a Surveil and it ramps us a little closer to doing stuff. Okay, so I think the play is we go ahead and Drake. I'll take a welder if they don't blast it. They may blast it, which is fine with me. Okay, so I'll take the Drake. Or I'll take the welder. Okay, they're conceding. It looks like. Yeah, that was great. So normally, Gilded Drake's not a good card against like a deck with like probably 8 blasts. Like I've talked to a lot of red players. I think the guy from Eternal, what is it called? Everyday Eternal. They said they're up to 8 red blasts and they're actually looking to like active Volcano on cards like that. I'm not sure if they were serious about that, but like there's just so much blue and blasts are so good, especially with Painter where you can like blast people's lands and stuff. So I think there's like argument for a strict upgrade on Force of Will here. Force is pretty bad because if you look at what they're doing, like Vexing Bauble invalidates and this can hit permanents too. They said, ugh, in the chat. And I forgot to say good luck, have fun. And people always get tilted when I say it like after I've just beaten them really badly. So I hope you don't interpret this as being like taunting you or something like that. I genuinely just forgot to say that earlier. Okay. This is a great hand. This is super duper solid. This has protection against their most degenerate stuff. They're mulligan too. I'm going to keep this. A lot of times when your opponent doesn't understand what you're doing and they're just like, wow, what is this deck? Nice list you got there, Law. Thanks. Yeah. When they don't know what you're doing, a lot of times they can kind of panic mulligan. But this is just a very fair deck. Like I would never mulligan unless I didn't have enough lands. Like JTL005, who basically pioneered this deck, he basically says he just doesn't mulligan as long as he's got like a land and a vial or 2 lands. Okay, so we have a couple options. One is just waste the Saga, and the other is to play the Tameo. I think we just waste the Saga. All right, yeah, and they got 0 tempo. They didn't cast anything off that. It's just they mulled. Okay, so they did have the Tomb, so they were going to be able to do stuff. All right, this is good. So they're not going to be able to defend this, and I'm just going to plow it. Like, I don't want to mess around with them untapping and, like, you know, having Spirit Guide, Grindstone, all that stuff. The good news is they ain't blue. Yeah, I think they could have Blood Moon. I think I'm just going to go get a Plains here, as cowardly as that may seem, and I'm going to plow off that. You can see my client's chunking for some reason. Chugging. Yeah, let's go ahead and if they have Spirit Guide into Red Blast, that's the last spell they're going to cast. Probably that, or like they would be going to Hellbent to do that. Okay, I need to remove the upkeep stop. All right, this is Blood Moon. Fable. That's a good card. Respect. Okay, so now, yeah, I mean, Drake would be insane to take this. Psychic Frog is not bad. We can... Okay, so options. One, we could both Tameo and we could Vial, which is not bad. And I think we have to get blue-black here, just because of the composition of our deck. They can generate mana, but they only have 2... I don't think playing Psychic Frog is particularly strong. I'd much rather bait a Blast out with Tameo and then jam the Psychic Frog. I think that'd be way stronger. We don't have any 1-mana interaction. Otherwise, I would definitely hold that up instead. All right. And they're going to be able to attack. We'll just block probably. If they Fury, like, I'm so here for that. Let's see what they discard. I never thought about this before, but Fable potentially also combos with Tameo to flip her. Okay, they pitched 2 lands. I am going to block this. I just don't want to die to Construct Beats for some weird, like, if they dig on this, it's totally fine with me. Or it looks like they might be blasting here. They're thinking about blasting. Okay, well, I'm going to block you. And then you can instep blast if you want. Okay, Welder. Welder is not scary right now because they don't have anything in their graveyard. Okay. I think I'm going to stop always yielding to that because that's what got me in like a previous game. So I'm going to start by attacking here. Creating a clue. They may blast this brainstorm, but it does help because it will dramatically reduce the amount of damage they're able to do. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so I do think Overlord's good. It's better. It's safer than Frog. We don't have black mana to cast it this turn. We actually don't have mana to do anything because, yeah, we wouldn't have had mana, like, even if I sequenced differently. I think I'm going to put these back. I'll keep 1 Frog. This is going to flip. We're going to plus her. I'm just going to play this out, and I'll hold up Clue Crack, but they won't know why I'm holding stuff up. And then we have Solitude in case of absolute emergencies, namely the Grindstone combo. Vexing Bobble. So if I just hit this now, we don't have to deal with it, and then I can just regrow it next turn. I think that's fine. Maybe it makes sense to hit the Welder. I don't know what they have in hand. If they have an Engineer, I'm going to wish I hit the Welder. I think I'm going to hit the Welder. This is definitely dangerous, and I do need to deal with this. So it's precisely, and even if they, yeah, because if they put like whatever it is, Chaos Defiler in, that would be really bad. If they have Engineer into Chaos Defiler, I might actually be able to outgrind that though. I think I'm just going to go for the Fable because that's like the most dangerous thing on the table. The Reflection. And then their Bobble can resolve and then they can promptly crack their Bobble because they've got my 0-drop. But I wasn't going to just like not use my Solitude there. Okay, and if they attack, that's fine. They can create a clue or create a token. Put a damage on her, I presume. Oh, did they attack me? Oh, no, they're still in the process of attacking. I'm just confused. Okay. Okay, yeah, and they did put damage on her. So if I rip a white source, then I'll have... Oh, it won't matter because they have to crack Bobble. They may be doing that. Okay, wow, they're cracking it with that. They're really holding out hope for Engineer here. Actually, I already know what I'm going to draw to. I think I'm going to get like a Baleful Strix. So if this is Engineer, we are very sad. But actually, yeah, they can immediately use it with Welder. Oh, this is tense. They can also just Bobble, like put Bobble back into play. Oh, they're going to just do that and draw a card? That's fine. Wow, what are they doing? Blood Moon. Okay, well, I am going to go ahead and draw a card. It doesn't necessarily matter, but yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so now... we do have cards we can put into play off Vial, but they're not very good cards, considering that they play a lot of blasts. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to tick this up, but this might actually be the last time I tick it up because we're going to have a lot of 2-drops coming. I'm glad that I grabbed that. I can't remember if I grabbed the planes or if I drew it naturally, but it was definitely smart to do so. I think we're going to live in a world where they are unable to find... I do think Frog is better here. So I'll probably just Frog in when this is... No, Strix has got to be better because we need to draw cards. I think I'm going to go ahead and do Strix now because if I do find a plow, I want to use it. Okay, this is just a dead card, but this does help put Yorion in our hand for later. I think it's better as something to pitch to Frog. I'm going to hold it. Because we are going to need to pitch stuff to Frog next turn, probably. I think it's unlikely that we get rid of this unless we magically find one of the Hydroblasts. I mean, we do have 4 in our deck. So 4 and 60 cards means slightly less than 1 in 15 chance. I'll definitely trade with this because this is generating tokens that they can potentially sack to get their bauble back every turn. I wouldn't be surprised if they just, Furied this or blasted it. But we did yield a card out of it anyway. Yeah, I don't think that I'm going to tick this up. Like, I was thinking, I could tick up toward Balemurk. Actually, maybe it is worth ticking up toward Balemurk. We have a lot of good 5-drops in our deck. Obviously, Overlord itself, but also Solitude. And if we get to 5, we put Balemurk in, then the following turn, we have the ability to... they're going in and cracking. It's pretty scary. Blood Moon is kind of a nightmare against our deck because we don't want to fetch our basics because we're so color intensive. But yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll go ahead and activate Vial and then I'll take it up. And so I at least get the Psychic Frog in. If they have a red blast, they're almost certainly going to want to blast Tamia though. Also worth noting that if Strix goes to my graveyard, they can use Welder to swap my Vial for Strix. But I still think we live in that world. Because by that time, I will have a Psychic Frog in play, and they won't have this generating clues anymore. And there are a lot of other ways they can put this in my graveyard, so I'm going to try to get this while I can. If I draw half my deck, I'll definitely draw... I won't necessarily draw the island, is the problem. I need an island to go with my blasts. Soul Cauldron, this is a combo. It's not particularly strong against my deck. They do have the ability to crack Bobble one more time. They can Soul Cauldron if I attempt to return anything, which returning Plow would make sense here. So, I should have activated that. Okay, I'm not going to tick it up. I'm just going to keep playing Frogs. Best draw on my deck is definitely an island. Okay. I think we plus... Engineer is just such a beating if they find it here. I think we see if they attack in. I don't think they're going to attack in, and then we Psychic Frog. I don't want to give them any information about what we're likely to do here. They do need to put pressure on Tamio, but if they find the Infinity combo, that'll be a problem. So I think they're just going to keep digging for Engineer. Yep. Does it get Death Touch? No, it just gets activated abilities. So it's not getting the Death Touch. But they can keep doing that and making it really big. So there is a risk that I Psychic Frog and I buff up my Frog and then they win in combat. I will draw half my deck. Okay, they're cracking the bobble. They can do that again, but they can't attack Tamio and do that. If they find an Engineer, it doesn't matter. They've got 4 Engineers and 44 cards. Okay, they're doing this again. Oh, actually, I can win next turn. So check this out. I'm going to go ahead and put in Frog. And then I can just attack for lethal. I do want to take this... No, because if they have a blast, then I just want to do it again the subsequent turn. I'm not... So... Okay, I'm just going to say no. Right. They're letting me... Are they letting me pass my... Wow, that's a lucky draw. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop it. And I won't have Force online to stop Vexing Bobble, but I will have the ability to get Blast. I should have played this island out first in case, due to some sequencing, they choose to blast after this. Okay, well, this is good. They're going to draw a card, but I've already drawn half my deck either way. So they can kill this, and then I can just pile another one and try again the next turn. All right, clean 2-0. This is what I was saying. Like, I think this is much better, like much more favored than blue-black tempo because Overlord of the Balemurk, because we got all the white cards. So it's not like the red is not like necessarily the end. And they just said something real quick. I didn't get a chance to see what they said. You can pause and rewind to see what they said, but I wish them well. Let's jump over to round 3. Round 3 against a likely Beanstalk player, likely control player of some form. We'll reveal our Yorion, and we're on the play. And this is a pretty solid hand. My goodness. This seems really solid. The redundant blue card, I'm going to keep this. I think we just open Tameo. And if they plow it or something, we just play another one. And if I lose this due to time, my wife wanted to talk to me for a minute. So, yeah, I like stepped away and lost a minute on my clock. Sorry about that. They're thinking about this. Okay. Well, if they have a combo with a, Daze Protection or something like that, I'll be very sad. But they didn't seem like the type of player, based on their play history, that would be doing that. But sometimes control players just freak out and lose it and start playing oops and stuff. Like, I just want to win for once. I want to feel something other than crushing defeat, which is what I felt when I tried to use Beanstalk against Eldrazi and stuff like that. Okay, Furying us. I mean, it's a 2 for 2. Okay, so my thinking is Through the Breach. Okay, well, I think that we need to keep our force if they're playing cards like Through the Breach. Interesting. Yeah, that's fine. I will 2 for 1 for you, and I will accept my 2 for 1. Yeah, they seem to be playing a combo deck. That's fine. Okay, Ancient Tomb. Petal. Interesting. Okay, and I suspect they're on mono red Through the Breach. The card that they exiled there was Through the Breach itself. Okay, so we've got 2 options. One, we can just play out a Psychic Frog, which seems pretty solid. But if we do that, we're probably never using this Aether Vial. 2, we could... I mean, Psychic Frog has to be pretty good here when we have Force, because we're going to be drawing more cards. I'm inclined to ignore the Vial for a turn. I think I am going to get a Scrubland here. We have that ability to go Island Scrubland. That is going to show our true colors. But it is going to give us access to all 3 of our colors. And we'll have the basic island, which does some things. I don't think we can actually beat a Blood Moon without Vial, but we will have Vial online, so it won't, hopefully we'll have game there. Yep. And I'm glad that they used Fury then and didn't wait a turn. Cheezilla sounds like the mother of all pizzas. Okay, that's a lot of mana. Fable is fine. I'll just flicker the actual thing. I'm not going to force that in against our combo deck. I realize that it's kind of like a combo enabler. Let's draw. Like a fetch would be the best, because then we'd have the ability to both flicker wisp. Best possible. Absolutely. All right, so I'm just going to go get a Tundra. Yeah, we need a white source. That is the best possible draw. Now we can flicker wisp and we can just attack in. We don't even need to exile cards. White, blue, bye-bye Germ, or not Germ, Goblin Shaman token. We're going to attack in, we're going to draw. This Vial, when you have like these Tameo into Frog type starts, it does kind of look embarrassing having a Vial in your hand. Because when are you going to deploy it? Like, we have this momentum against them. I feel like it is correct to apply it. And now we're going to be hitting them for a lot. You could argue that I probably should have pitched Vial there. I'll probably do that before next combat's damage. But I think it would have been good to have an extra damage here, for not just for next turn, but for every turn subsequently. I mean, it improves our clock a lot. Okay, so they pitched City of Traders and Seething Song and drew 2 cards and didn't cast anything. They don't have any red mana. Feeling pretty good. If you can hear my kids playing piano, they love playing piano. I I think I'm going to go ahead and Strix and see what I draw. No, we have double force, double blue card. I'm going to attack first. I am going to pitch the Vial. I just don't think it's going to be relevant this matchup, and I'd rather have the damage each turn. All right. I will discard the Vial. They didn't know what we're on. They certainly know now if they're familiar with Esper Vial as an archetype. Draw a Wasteland. I think we do this. They do need a lot of mana. I'm aware that we could use that to like hit some kind of... Oh, I forgot to play... No, wait, I'm not going to play the Strix. I'm just going to hold. I actually could Tameo and Strix next turn, and then I would only have one force up, but I would have Flip Tameo, which could rebuy forces. Seems good. I'm liking our situation here, but again, they're a combo deck. They could just explode. They could have some number of Spirit Guides in hand. Okay, I think we are going to do this. I think I'm going to attack with everything, and then I can decide what to do based off my draw of Psychic Frog. And by the way, if they choose to block, I will happily let them block here. Any blue card, and I'll feel super safe deploying this Strix. But statistically, it's like 1 in 3. Oh, they just conceded. Okay, cool. Yeah, we had that like totally on lock. I think it was over aggressive for them to Fury there. If they wait, they can get like a bunch of cards out of her hand and they can still kill her. Maybe they were worried that she flips, but if she flips, it's no big deal. You can still Fury the flipped one. Yeah, you have a window with Fury. It deals exactly 4, which is how much she has. So I think Hydroblast is definitely coming in. Force Negation is coming in. I don't think we bring in Consign. We can't board out a lot of the cards we'd like to board out. I wouldn't be surprised if they were playing... I mean, Solitude actually does hit Emrakul, which is pretty clutch. I suspect some number of blue cards will be coming in. I don't think Drake is a reliable plan against what they're trying to do because they're probably going to put some crazy monster in play that wins immediately. And I think Through the Breach necessarily dies. So I imagine they're playing like some sort of Through the Breach sneak attack. I'm not going to go look for lists because Baron seems... It's a blue card. I mean, there's an argument for just cutting Vial. It is not a blue card. They could have Blood Moon. I think we're going to have to keep the mana up early for Blue Elemental Blast. They may play the One Ring or something like that where we do wish we had these consigns in. I'm going to bring 2 consigns in. We know that they're doing big mana. Okay, so we don't really have a way to cheat now that we took the Vials out. We're going to aggressively fetch basics just in case there's a Blood Moon. The most important thing is that we have an opening force and that we have a blast and an island in case they deploy a Blood Moon. And then that we stop their combo, of course. That's probably the biggest thing. But we don't have a plan B if they... because we have all these turn 1 plays that require mana, I just don't know when we're going to safely be able to deploy a Vial, and we'll be behind. Vial is definitely better when you're on the play, as with most things. Okay, this is great. We can get all 3 of our basics here. And the only card we won't be able to cast off basics is Flicker Wisp, so we can potentially cast that if we draw a 4th land. So I'm going to keep on the strength of basics, and we'll just force a Blood Moon. Okay, Sandstone Needle. Absolutely nothing degenerate ever came out of a Sandstone Needle. Wow, that's so aggressive. I think I'm going to hit this. It represents a draw later. It represents Metalcraft. Yeah, and this will make them hopefully think twice. I mean, we do have Solitudes in our deck, and I want those to be live. It's clear that they're going to do something really scary next turn, probably. Now that we don't really need to worry about casting anything, I'm not even going to pretend I have anything. I'm just going to put Tameo in play and hope that we can get some value. Tameo Ultimate can get us through Blood Moon because now that we have our island, we can find some Red Blasts if they do get a Blood Moon. They may not even be playing Blood Moon, but like Blood Moon is very much on my mind as a 3-color deck. And this might just be like the insane creature. Oh, it's another Vexing Bubble. Yeah, that sucks. And they may just be able to go now. They have a ton of mana. I don't know if they keep a hand that doesn't have any enablers or payoffs. But I guess they can't have both enabler and payoff in a 1-card hand. All right. So I'm going to definitely jam This, unfortunately, hopefully they crack that out of desperation. I'm just going to attack, and I am going to definitely jam the Psychic Frog this turn. I think that's better than trying to... I mean, we would have to crack anyway, so we'd be cracking out of Red Blast mana. We wouldn't be able to blast even if we ripped one. So we will be cracking clues aggressively next turn. But we'll also be flipping Tamiyo and rebuying our force. Okay, so I'm going to get the swamp here. All right. If you sign up for an MTGO league, you're signing up for a bunch of combo decks like this. This is probably 75% of people. The One Ring, I can't do anything about that. This is going to be very strong for them. We have to hope that we can somehow stymie their mana. My hope is that they go all in on like some sort of Emrakul play and I can just Solitude them. But even that is not that great when they have the One Ring, because that means they gain like a ton of life. Unfortunately, yeah, there's not really anything to do here. I am going to attack, and I'll just probably get a Surveil land instead of a Plains at this point. I think we're so far behind. We do need to... Yeah, I could have cracked the clue and then just waited to see if I drew a Wasteland. That was probably a bad play. I'm still trying to like tighten up on those kinds of basic things. You may be saying, I've been watching your channel for so long. You've been trying to tighten up for so long. Yes, I apologize. Doing the best I can. All right, what is this? Show and Tell? You can't take back your mana after you play a land in the middle of tapping mana. I learned that the hard way. All right, Through the Breach. What kind of craziness is going to come through here? If it's an Atraxa, I'll be scared. If it's... Oh, wait. What's this? Damn Vexing Bauble. So they're going to get 3 5/5 green worm creatures. So we're going to take 15 and then we're going to take another. This... Brought to you by that. I'm trying to think of... Oh, we could draw a Plow. Let's see if we can draw a Plow. That, we do have Plows in our deck. Nope. No luck. But I think we're going to take 15, but with Trample. Yeah, those tokens have Trample. I think that's probably it. We would have to kill all 3 of them. We could debuff them. Kill one with Strix. Yeah, I mean, this is such a brittle card. Like, it dies to so many things in our deck. But unfortunately, what we have just doesn't line up. This does have Trample, right? Okay. I didn't take 15 that I could have just thrown in front of the frog. No, okay, and here come the worms. This is a reason to play Consign to Memory, because we could hit that trigger. Am I going to go to 1 to Surveil? I don't think we're winning if we don't. So I'll go get the white land. I'm trying to envision a card that would somehow save us here. Brainstorm into like a bunch of Plows could actually do that. That's like the only thing I can imagine. It's not that. But that does allow us to Flicker Wisp one, but that's not enough. Shepherd, yeah, she could take out 1. Solitude, which can't be cast. Strix could draw, but yeah, I don't think there's a path forward here. We don't have any creature that like just magically stops them. We don't have a One Ring type effect. Yeah. That happens. Again, like this deck is not favored against combo decks. I think I was pretty, and now that I've seen One Ring, I'm definitely going to board in more. Cheezilla. Cheese indeed. All right, let's see what we can do here. I still like having the vials out. I don't regret any of my searches there, like the decisions I made along the way. I don't regret taking out Gilded Drake. That is really only good instant speed. Like you give them a Drake and you get a 5/5, but they're still going to attack you with the Drake and the other 2 5/5s. And I do think that they have like Emrakul and stuff like that. I think we force the Vexing Bauble and we hope that they don't have a second one. If they don't have a second Vexing Bauble, we would have won that, or likely won it, because what we would have done is just solituded the thing. It never goes to the graveyard, so they never get the things. We don't take the initial 15. They gain 15 life, but we just grind them out from there. Baron does deal with a token if that's their main way that they win. Flicker Wisp does get worse when we don't have Drake in our deck. Tamiyo, obviously the first game it baited like a lot of attention. It got that Fury in our face. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to take out. I think like pretty much everything in here is solid. Teferi seems really solid. It can bounce a Vexing Bauble, and it can, like, you know, not that they'll just replay it before they cast their spell, but it could bounce one of the creatures that gets out. I don't want to cut Plow for sure. We are bringing in blue cards, so we could, in theory, take out some blue cards. I don't want to take out Solitude, because if they are trying to Emrakul us, which is the most common thing that they try to do, then Solitude stops that, assuming they don't have a Vexing Bauble as well. We could take out Overlord. Okay, maybe we take out one Overlord. We take out one Felia. I think Flicker Wisp is probably better. Well, no. I don't know. Felia seems pretty good. Overlord, if it grew up, it would be big enough to tango. I think it's not a blue creature. Yeah, I'm going to take it out. Sorry, Overlord. I think this is the first time I've ever cut Overlord. But we're boarding in like 10 cards against them. We're boarding in everything except the Fairy Macabres. If you're watching this and you're a veteran player of Esper Vial and you're just shaking your head like, what the hell are you doing? What the heck was that? You know, like, definitely let me know if you think that was too extreme. But like in these combo decks, I basically just throw our Fair Plan out the window. This seems good. Yeah, I'm going to keep this Force Hand with the ability to Surveil. Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. We're not going to play Tameo when she's our blue card. We're going to assume that they're going to explode, that we're going to stop their initial explosion, and then we're going to slowly, you know, mongoose them, as I like to say. And if they open Blood Moon, we'll go get a Swamp. But I am pretty sure I'm getting the Undercity Sewer here. Flicker Wisp is good at hitting, like, you know, some of the cards in their deck. Like Fable. Gosh, they just have to have it immediately. Yeah, I think I'm not going to force this. Maybe that's a mistake. We don't actually have anything that can get rid of it, do we? Yeah, that was probably a mistake not to force that. And I will probably pay dearly for that in like exactly one turn. This is a blue card for force. It's something we can cast next turn. Probably more useful than Tameo because it does immediately dig us. Yeah, unless they get desperate and crack their Bauble, they're probably going to win here, just on the strength of Bauble. This card is so frustrating. Like, I think a lot of control players share my sentiment about Vexing Bauble, that it's just like the last thing you need. Like, it's supposed to be like an anti-combo card, but it's used in the combo decks. Okay, please don't just kill me. Okay, Seething Song, they're going to kill me. Hopefully that they whiff or something. Bombardiers, not a big deal. I get it. I'm about to take a ton of damage. Wow, double Bombardiers. Hopefully they get greedy and like throw the Vexing Bauble or something. Can't do anything here. Yeah, I mean, it's a clock for sure. I could put out a Tameo just as a potential blocker. I think Flicker Wisp is probably better. But what is Flicker doing? Flicker is producing a blocker, and it's also surveilling us. So that's not bad. I am a little worried about even fetching here. Yeah, so I'll attempt to double block, and then what they'll do is they'll like throw something to kill one of my creatures so that they're that they don't die, but hopefully that means they're throwing something. Also, they still have 2 cards left in hand, and they do still have the Vexing Bauble, and they do still have a lot of other stuff they can do. So, yeah, we could still get comboed, even though they're presenting like a different angle. That can go in our graveyard. Yeah, my hope is just to slow them down a little bit. To go from combo to playing this, shame. How do you live with yourself? How do you sleep at night? Being a control player who is playing this card. All right, we'll take it, and we might take some more. I will actually play out this Tameo next turn. I seriously doubt, if they throw the Bauble, I won't play it out because I'll hold it for force, but like that would be crazy for them to get that greedy. They can just wait until they have us dead on board and then do it. Okay. Okay, so what we can do is we can go ahead and both Flicker Wisp and Tameo here. Oh, I need to also tap that for blue before I do this. I mean, I could just blink my Strix, which is an actual card draw. Oh, I'll pay black. I think it's better to actually blink the Strix than to blink this. It doesn't make any sense to blink that when I can just draw a card. And I'll play that out. Got some kind of sad piano music in the background as we just get destroyed. I don't know if you can hear my daughter playing the piano. Okay, we've got 3 blockers. Hydroblast is very good if we live to cast it. They are going to need to probably throw something or lose one of these, because what I'll do is I'll block here. Okay, if they have, okay, Simian Spirit Guide does it. Are we dead? I don't think we're dead. So what they're going to do is, okay, so I'm going to definitely block here and here. And then they have to throw it at this. They have to throw it at my Strix, otherwise this dies in combat. They could throw 2 things. What is that targeting? That's targeting us? Okay. Sure. Deal. Oh, wait. Can they throw the other one? They can. Okay. Now we're pretty dead. Next turn they can just throw it. But here's what I'm counting on. I'm counting on this blast removing that from play. Unless they just have something they can do right now. Wait, how did they win? How did they win? Did I miss something? I think it was just lag. So I didn't realize my life total changed. Yeah. There's nothing I could have done. I had no agency. I drew that Hydroblast. Like that would, if we gotten that obviously a turn earlier, that would have made a difference. Yeah, that's frustrating. Boarding in 10 cards and then getting completely destroyed. I guess not completely. I mean, we did win one of the games, but we won that because they kind of like overly aggressively furied and they had nothing else going on. Round 4, this will be an exciting opportunity for us to test against likely Bant Nadu. So we're looking for exile-based removal cards. Karakas is a card that can be okay here. This feels like an incredibly passive hand. I think I'm going to mulligan this. This feels a lot better. So we'll just put back the redundant Flicker Wisp. We actually don't have an immediate path to casting Psychic Frog, but if they are on Bant Nadu, they shouldn't touch our mana. So I'll just put this back. And then what we'll hope to do is, over the next few turns, draw. They also mulliganed. Okay, so I'm going to just plan to fetch the Undercity Sewer here. The next turn, we can, if we do draw a way to cast Psychic Frog, we'll cast it. Otherwise, we'll just Felia. Okay. So, no idea what they're on. I don't think that they're on Bant Nadu if they're playing Polluted Delta. I still am going to stick with my plan of surveilling and trying to find lands. That is precisely what we're looking for. The question is, do we want a Psychic Frog when they could just Fatal Push it? I think... Oh, also there is risk of them dazing. I think I want to wait. I'm not going to press my Psychic Frog into... I'll wait a turn. We've got plenty of mana. And we can go get more. We can fetch a Surveil and potentially find another one. We can also brainstorm back some of these cards. We're not going to brainstorm in the face of potential Bowmasters, though. So I think here I am going to go ahead and just get the other Surveil in. I'm not going to attempt to cast anything into this. The way we lose against Tempo is we just... we don't take advantage of the fact that we are a long game deck. That's perfect. We're getting some really lucky finds here. Yep, and they're going to just brainstorm. I'm not sure whether they're doing this now. They should definitely wait, but maybe they suspect we have Bowmasters. That was really quick. Maybe they're on Doomsday? I'm not sure. Like, that was the fastest brainstorm I've ever seen somebody do. Okay, so here, I do think we frog. Yeah, I think I'm just going to frog here. And if they push it, that's fine. I don't think Felia is relevant right at this exact moment. We can still surprise with it. One of the issues with Felia is if you put her out early, then it's just like she's going to get killed. She's really brittle, right? And she also has to attack to trigger. So you really want to wait until you have like something lined up that you're going to try to do. This is a situation where having a third Surveil lane would be really great, by the way, because I've got nothing to do with this land. I'm not going to emergency brainstorm to try to save my frog. Yep, brainstorming again. Yeah, and that pedal is basically dead giveaway. They're on something unfair, most likely Doomsday. I just don't want them to Doomsday right now. If they frog themselves, that's not a big deal. I can Flicker Wisp their frog out of play, and then I can attack and get the first draw. Okay, yeah. As if there was any doubt they're on Doomsday. They are personal tutoring. All right. So now we need to find a force effect stat. I mean, Tameo could flip, but I don't think it's good enough if they're going to Doomsday. Putting damage on them now also doesn't really help. I think we go ahead and attack first, and then we get one card deeper into our deck, and then we brainstorm. That sees the most cards. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a force in hand as well. This doesn't help. The real question is, do we brainstorm with Tameo out just a flipper? Or do we just hold Tameo as a blue card? I think that's probably the correct thing to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm here. We're unlikely to find a force, by the way. Teferi is good, though. I'm going to attempt to cast Teferi and see if that baits a daze. They can still cast Doomsday, but they'll have less mana to work with. I don't really care about this Karakas in this matchup. I don't even think they have that much removal. Felia can sneak in and potentially do damage. I think Swords to Plowshares is probably completely dead, though. I'd rather have Felia. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to play this out. And now I'm going to be freaking crazy, and I'm going to play out a Teferi. Is that really what I want to do, or do I want to play a second frog? They may be able to just win. They may be more careful if there's a Teferi out in terms of trying to win. We get a Tundra. Yeah, I'm genuinely afraid that they're just going to be able to do something broken here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and risk them countering this. I think it's fine. If they burn a force on this, this is a force they won't have during their big go-off turn. I think they'll probably... Oh, they are burning a force on it. Okay. So I stand by that decision. We haven't found a force yet. They did pay a life. It doesn't matter, actually, because the life is rounded down. So we'll just see if they can win here. Cabal Ritual. Okay. They have 5 mana. Doomsday. They should be able to win. By the way, this matchup doesn't get a lot better after board. We are weak to combo, and leagues are filled with combo. So please don't completely judge the quality of this deck by its performance against these non-blue-black Reanimator, non-Painter, Grindstone combo decks. This deck is designed to farm the decks that are likely to be at the top tables, and this is really good against the tempo version of Doomsday, but it's not very good against personal tutor, like all-in Doomsday, which is not very commonly played right now. Almost everybody's playing the tempo version. But yeah, you're gonna lose to random combo decks in leagues, even if you play correctly. And you could argue that I have made plenty of mistakes probably that I'm not even aware of. Shout out to the comment section where you can call those out. All right, so I'll shut up and we'll just wait to see what their exile pile looks like. So I always like to start with a force of will check. 3 forces are here, and one of them was already in exile. Did they put a force in the pile? Let's see. One was already in exile. Unearth. That's kind of cool tech. In terms of dazes, they've got 1 daze. 2, 3. So they may have a daze. If they had a daze in hand, they probably would have cast it last turn instead of forcing, though. But it could be in their pile. Cavern is not in their pile unless they play 2 caverns, which I doubt. They could potentially be doing a slow build because they see the white and they know that I could potentially have Swords to Plowshares. So they want to do back-to-back. But they don't have Consider or any of the usual... I don't see... Oh, Lion's Eye Diamond. So I think they are planning to take a slower pile. Interesting, they have a Vexing Bauble in here. Some Doomsday decks play this. They have 1 Thoughtseize, 2 Thoughtseize. Their Street Race out is in exile. I don't see the Edge of Autumn, so they might be using that, but this looks like they're doing a slow pile, which is great for us. So options. I could just go all in on Frog and deal as much damage as possible. And then what do I do if... I think I'm going to try that. It's my assessment is they're They are going kind of slow here. I could have even put Yorion in hand. That wouldn't be enough to kill them though, would it? 3. I don't think there's any benefit to going deeper. I didn't see any removal. So we're just going to deal 4, and then we can deal 4 next turn. Plow. Oh, Wasteland. Wasteland does allow us to put Yorion in the hand. Is that useful though? I think it's better to disrupt their mana. I want to do it now before they crack into the pile because they may have the Edge of Autumn card. I mean, they could have it. Okay, they don't. I'll try to surprise them with Felia. I don't think it's relevant. I think the game's over. Yeah, and there's no point in playing out Tameo. That was, I believe, I just held that in case I drew a force. So we're probably dead. Okay, Edge of Autumn. So they drew that. Edge of Autumn. Okay, so they had double Edge of Autumn. Yeah, and if they just cast it now, unfortunately, we couldn't find a removal spell. Whoa, they just scooped. Wow. Okay. I'm not sure why they scooped there. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, if you don't mind, could you tell me what happened there? Okay. So, I'm not going to chalk this up as a win against Doomsday because, frankly, like we were totally naked to what they wanted to do there. I think they just made it. It was just piloting error. So when I said it doesn't get any better, really, like technically, Force Negation does stop. Like they're on the turbo version, so I don't think it's correct to bring that in. Consign is a card that can stop the trigger, the win the game trigger. They are playing Thoughtseize. I didn't see really any creatures at all. I don't think we keep Plow. They may pivot into creatures, but even then, it's not like we don't have counterplay. I mean, like if they want to play creatures, fine. Like Dance with Us, we've got like the most powerful creatures in the format, basically. Flicker Wisp feels extremely slow. Felia is unlikely to get destroyed, so we can kind of rely on that with Overlord. I do like Overlord. I like Solitude, but I think we cut the Plow. Yeah, this feels all right with me. So all we're doing is upping our force density from like 60% or normally like 33% or something like that to here. I'll pull up the hypergeometric. So with an 80 card deck and 4 forces, you have a 31% chance of getting it. If you go up to 6 forces, you have a 43%, which is right around where you would have if you were playing a 60 card deck with 4 forces. So you probably do want to have 2 force negations just for that reason alone, just in case you run into decks that forces like everything, like that they're putting a ton of resources into. And I did screenshot their deck, but it doesn't look like it's going to give me a chance to bring that over here. But I'll tell you that they were playing Lion's Eye Diamond. They were playing Cavernous Souls. I didn't count let me count how many personal tutors. 1, 2. 2 personal tutors. So this is pretty turbo. Like that's about as many as anybody plays. They're taking a long time to sideboard too. They may be doing a transformational sideboard. I'll definitely feel bad if I get got by Barrogoyf. But again, we have Gilded Rake in the deck. This is not a keep. I just can't risk them turboing us. Okay, this I think is better. I'm going to keep this and I'll put this on the bottom. I'm going to keep my Brainstorms. If they just turn 1 us Doomsday, we don't have a lot of recourse. Vexing Bobble doesn't affect what's in our hand, thankfully. Best draw on our deck is probably Consign to Memory now. Gilded Drake is not necessarily bad. I think I'm going to play this out and I'll just fetch. I probably will Overlord next turn just to get it going. I mean, in case the game goes long. If they play something like, I think Baleful Strix is going to be so strong against the tempo cards that they play because they play like a lot of Doomsday plays. They of course play Frog, which I don't even know if our opponent was playing Frog. I don't think they were playing Frog. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why you don't play Frog in Doomsday. It seems like a no-brainer. No offense to our opponent, but like, what are you playing if you're not playing Frog? Frog is so insane, especially in Doomsday, because it lets you crack into your Doomsday pile. Okay, I think we go ahead and just Overlord here. The other alternative is we could keep up Brainstorm just in case they do try to turbo us. And then we can Brainstorm, Surveil, we can get tons of card selection. I think that's better. Because if they're trying to go off, like if they get some fatty, we'll just have a little more information. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm now. If they Bowmasters, they got me, but I think I can recover from a Bowmaster Brainstorm. There's our best draw in the deck. Land number 3. Okay, so I'm going to put back a Balemurk. I'll be really astonished if Drake is relevant. I think I'm going to put it back. Strix seems like to have the absolute advantage. Now this is vulnerable to Thoughtseize because this is only good at the very end of the game when they are putting Thoughtseize Oracle in the stack. I don't think it's going to stop anything else. It'll stop the One Ring. This is the combo. I'm going to keep this. And the great thing is we don't have to tap out for this. I think if we Balemurk now, we'd keep up Consign, but that can absolutely be forced for days. I think we really want to keep up. Like, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in Felia in step instead and just maximize flexibility here. Okay, they're fetching probably Surveil land. All right, no plays. Felia will start the pressured. The best draw I can have is a land. I'm actually kind of tempted to Brainstorm to set up that best draw, even if they daze this. My reasoning, okay, this is great. This is a land that we can cast Overlord and we can still hold up Consign. So I'm just going to put these Strixes back because they don't really matter. We'll draw one and we'll mill the other one with Overlord. All right, and now we have Consign with Replicate. I'm not going to attempt to waste them here, but I will keep these wastes. I'll use these later. They may be helpful for restricting what they can do. We were already guaranteed a card, so we'll get back. If we get back Tameo, we can play it, but I don't think that's the play. I've already got a Strix. Flipping a Tameo is not going to be relevant at this point. My reasoning is that Balemurk is going to end the game really quickly, assuming they don't have a way to get rid of it. Okay, they have Fatal Push. That's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to pass. And yeah, it's a 1-for-1. So if they're holding a lot of interaction, they're going to be sorely mistaken because we're going to be hitting them a lot. The scariest thing they can do here is definitely Thoughtseize. And I bet you if they build a Doomsday pile, they'll probably put Thoughtseize in it if Consign is on their radar, which I can't imagine Consign not being on the radar of a Doomsday player. Okay, Gilded Drake. It's unfortunate draw. I think we frog here. And I'm just going to wait another turn before I blow up their lands. Just in case. Because being able to Consign twice, like it really, like there's no amount of interaction they can have other than like discard that stops Consign. If you replicate it twice. That's fine. So we're just going back and forth. They're getting pretty unfavorable, not unfavorable trades. It's actually like both of those are mana positive. So those are good trades. But, okay, this is fine. Yeah, they may have this. Yeah, I'm just going to let them do it. They can Vexing Ball to crack into their pile, but doing that would risk them getting forced. I'm almost certain that they're going to have Thoughtseize. So they could Vexing Bobble and then they could crack Vexing Bobble to get into their pile, and then they could get Thoughtseize. It's also worth noting that they're going to want to put a land in their pile with the Polluted Delta. Considering I'm presenting 2 wastelands, I can waste them off blue. And if they're not conscientious about that and they forget to put a land in their pile, we may be able to waste them off blue. But I wouldn't be surprised if they put the caverns in their pile. All right, OBS started freaking out and doing some weird stuff, so I apologize if some of the video prior was funky. I'll add something in the show notes to help you get through past that part, but you'll still be able to hear my commentary. I'm not sure exactly when OBS spazzed out. OBS, by the way, is the software, open broadcasting software that I use to record my screen when I do these. All right, they have finished what they're doing. Let's take a look at their pile. Or not their pile, but with their exile cards. So we can see if we can figure out. Okay, MTGO. I think I clicked twice and it just took forever to respond. Okay. So they have Cavern out. They have both their edges out. They've got their Shroot Wraith out. So they're not planning to win quickly. I'm not really sure why they're taking this approach. Let's count the they're passing the priority, so they probably put the they do have Murktide, so that's like their tempo plan is 2 Murktides, it looks like. And a Barragoyf, 2 Barragoyf. Yeah, I imagine they have Thoughtseizes, and that's what they're planning to do, which is smart. With that, they don't really have to worry about it. Let's count their Underground Seas. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they may not have put... They have Island. They already have a Swamp in play. They may have put Island in here just to ensure that they can cast stuff. Yeah, it looks like that's probably what they did. And they... Yeah. So they're going to have the mana to do it, even if I waste them. It's good to note that their plan did involve adding Murktide to the deck because Murktide is very Gilded Drakeable. Yeah, I think it is probably worth firing these off just to constrain their options. We have nothing going on. I think it's worth going ahead and trying to find something off this. Okay, a second consign gives me a lot of hope because they're going to have to do it to us twice. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and fire this off. We know they don't have edge. They are going to get their pile pretty thin, though, if they're using Consider. Okay, they're floating. That's fine. I'm just going to pass to post-combat. This, unfortunately, if they draw even a single card, this is not going to matter here. I do think I go ahead and fire off this other one. This will dramatically restrict their mana. So they can go get an island, but they may have put petals in their pile. I'm not sure how many petals they play. That would make sense. Yeah, I think having double consign just gives us so much room. We are going to need to... So I think they'll probably... Thoughtseize us here. Oh, so they're going for it now? I thought I checked... Vexing Bobble's out, so Force doesn't even really matter. They're going to have to pay mana to... So they're going down to 3 cards now. 2 cards. So if they have Petal... What are they doing? Consider. That's fine. This means that... I think they screwed up. I'm trying to figure out how they could win here. They have their Cavern in exile. So I think they're probably planning to... I don't know if they have enough blue source to cast. Let's see. 1 petal, 2 petal. Their LED's out here, 3 petal. So they do have a petal, but they're going to need a petal plus another blue source to be able to cast her. Okay, they just screwed up. Okay, so, but we had it double covered. I feel like confident that we would have won that game, even if they hadn't screwed up. All right, let's go to the final round. We are 2-2, fighting for a positive record. And I should say that our 2 wins have been very resolute and... Let's see. This one is the one that got away. This fair one. I feel like that is. I'm going to be studying that one, but the other ones have gone pretty much how I would have expected them to go. Oh, no way, JTL, the creator of the deck, the end boss of this league. I'm going to get destroyed. I'm going to get utterly destroyed by this much more experienced Esper Vial player. Okay, so if they are on Wasteland, this is pretty dangerous to keep. Force is not good in the matchup. Flicker Wisp is very good with Overlord. So if we can resolve Overlord, then we can just keep throwing stuff at it until we get it to flip. I think it's fine. We are on the play. So I think I'm going to open Undercity, just trying to find another land. They may see this as a weakness. That's great. Yeah, that works great with Felia, and it ensures we're more likely to resolve one of these. But if we flip Overlord, that is going to be really, really strong. They have the Vial, which I can't counter. I would definitely counter, so they should know that I don't have a force by the fact that I didn't counter that, because you always counter that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... I'd be more sad if Caracas got wasted than Tundra. Yeah. And we're going to see if this resolves. I assume it will. Okay. I'm looking for... Tamiya's fine. Now we have a blue card to go with our force. So we're on the play, and it's just we're gonna just batter them with Flicker Wisp next turn. I'm not even gonna take a turn to go get Felia. I'm just gonna go straight to Flicker Wisp. And if they have to plow, the damage is already done. All right. I've never played against this player before. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played against them. I've just talked to them a whole lot, and they have been very kind and critiqued my videos, and they may very well be critiquing this one. So I think we're going to go ahead and go for the combo here. No guts, no glory. It might be correct to lead Felia, but I don't think so. I think it's almost certainly correct to just go ahead and jam. It's also worth noting that Flicker Wisp can reset Vial later if we need to. So we're going to have a lot of power on the table, and we're going to be very much the aggressor here. There is a risk that we don't hit a creature. It's low. Yeah, Strix seems pretty damn good. I'm really glad we hit a creature there. We've got just an insane grip. Look at this. This is value. I think I'm going to force. I'm not doing anything with this Tameo. I don't really even care about it. I want to be getting value each turn. They may have a Solitude. They may just have another plow. They could Drake this. That would be bad. If they Drake it, I can just Flicker Wisp it. I'm trying to think of okay, so we have been incredibly lucky, but that doesn't mean we're good. What are the plays that we should be making if we were good and not just getting super lucky? All right. This could be Teferi, which would... Oh, Baleful Strix is not a big deal. So Baleful Strix, I'll just flicker it probably so I can get an attack without worrying about it. I mean, I would love to remove it if I had an avenue to do so. Okay. So let's say we flicker it. They do get an extra card, but we do 8 damage and we draw, we get a trigger and everything. I'm worried. I'm worried that that's not the right play. I feel like our flipped Overlord, though, is so strong that we do want to be attacking with it. Yeah, jamming another Flicker Wisp is also good in the sense that, okay, I'm trying to think, they could have their own Felia that comes in here. I'm just going to go ahead and keep Karakas up. So I'll just get a second Tundra, and that does risk... Oh, wait, we don't have any more Tundras. We milled them. Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to keep any land up. I do want a second White Source here. I feel like it's too late. If they have Drake and instant speed, that's devastating. Yeah, that would be absolutely devastating if they had that. I do have Felia still, so it's not like we're totally screwed, but... And it does suck giving them an extra card, for sure. Let's get the Psychic Frog, the only creature in our graveyard, actually. Okay. So we're doing 8 damage. Okay, they are going to do something here. They might Drake. That would be scary. Okay, it's just another one. All right, so they are going to be able to kill this, unfortunately. And they did get a card, so their hand is pretty flush. But we do have a pretty aggressive beatdown plan. They'll get their Strix back. Yeah, they're going to be 7 cards. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe we should have just, applied pressure and not thought too much about it. Flicker Wisp is not a bad threat, though. If they're playing Bowmasters, that would be pretty bad. I think my play next turn is probably Frog into Felia end step. And I'm just going to keep swinging and applying as much pressure as possible. If I get a Strix out, then the following turn I could potentially... I'll Frog and I'll Felia. And then the next turn, I will Strix and put Yorion in the hand. So they could go Recruiter and they could do a lot of stuff. If they get Harbinger of the Seas, it screws me more than it screws them. They do have the toolbox in their deck. Let's see if they get a Swamp. If they get a Swamp, then they are thinking Harbinger. They could have Harbinger already in hand, but I think what they'll probably do... Yeah, oh no, I don't think they're going to Harbinger. There's a Frog. Frog is undermined by Baleful Strix. They're not attacking. Okay. Okay, Wasteland does give us... does let us play Felia and keep Karakas up. I think attacking in... Frog completely blunts my aggression. I don't want to attack into a Frog. Yeah, I think I play out the Wasteland. And then probably just play out well, let's play out the Strix first. Black, blue. If we draw a Plow, that completely changes things. Or a Solitude. Okay, they are vialing in here. Do they have Hull Breacher? They do. That's a good card against us. So they're going to get a treasure. We don't get a card, but we do have this blocker here. I feel like we're very quickly, like the game is turning around very quickly. I think what I'm going to do is, because I mean, there's so many ways they can get this Strix out of play, but I've already kind of committed to this line of just fellying here. I don't think attacking into Psychic Frog is correct. They'd have to pitch 3 cards, but I mean, they can recoup. If they get a bunch of counters on it, then I think I'm going to keep being aggressive here. That may be a mistake. If they jump and pitch 3 cards, Felia will get Psychic Frog out of play later. I wouldn't be surprised if they jumped and okay, they're not doing that though. And they're plowing the other one. That's fine. So if I don't cast Felia now, they do have Hardcast Force up. So I think I'm just going to play it now. So if they have removal, we can Karakas her. And now we have the ability to attack and, remove Psychic Frog from play if they put counters on it, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I win this. Like it probably sounds really weird to say I'm not sure how I win this when we've got 2 Psychic Frogs in hand, 5 lands, we've got a Yorion we can go get, but maybe I'm just letting JTL intimidate me with his vastly more deep experience with the deck. Again, like he created the deck like, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago or something. He's been playing this for years. And he routinely just grabs other control decks and like wins legacy challenges as well. What is this? Drake to take my Strix would be bad. Fairy is also bad. Yep, that's fine. I'm going to absolutely block if they give me an opportunity to do so. They're recruitering. At 4 mana, they actually do play 4 mana spells, unlike me. Like, I think they're just not worth playing. Okay, they're probably going to get the one that destroys and forces me to draw. Oh, they're just going to get Witch Enchanter. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. I don't play Witch Enchanter either. So they're doing the less explosive, like, more control-y build. But they can play really quickly, and I can't because they have a lot more experience than I do. So now they're drawing cards, and I feel like this game's pretty much a lock for them. They can Yorion soon. I am going to play this out. I am going to play out my Psychic Frog, but I definitely don't feel a lot of hope. I'm going to go ahead and play this out too. I don't think, I don't think going after the mana makes any difference now with the Vial as high as it is. If I get a chance to attack, I'll probably just flicker the Vial as like a desperation move. I don't have any more Surveillance I can check. Like this is what I am presenting is what I'm presenting basically. If they give me a chance to trade with Hull Breacher, I'll take it. They're going to hit my Karakas. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to pass. I'm not even going to float. Yeah, they're just thoroughly disassembling me. Okay, this is a 5-drop. This is a Solitude and I'm scooping. Or this is even worse. Yeah, Solitude. I'll scoop. Yeah, I mean, that felt like I was like kind of comically ahead and then they just mongoosed me. I'm not used to getting mongoosed. I'm the person who mongooses the Cobras. But in that case, I was very much the Cobra, striking a whole lot and going into like a blind rage with my Flicker Wisps. Yeah, I'm very impressed that they turned that around so decisively. Okay, no sideboard substitutions at all. Yeah, there's nothing to be done. I'm just going to run it back. They probably do have cards that might be good in the mirror because they play a varied sideboard with silver bullets and stuff. And this has been a discussion that I've had with JTL a lot is like, I don't believe in silver bullets. I'm like that guy with the in the park with the drink and just leaning back in his chair on the table, like change my mind. Silver bullets are too slow for Legacy. Like his build is by design going to be able to mongoose a deck like mine because it's like even more kind of control-y, whereas mine is a little bit more aggressive, and that makes a huge difference. But I do believe that this deck will probably have a much better matchup against Eldrazi and Blue-Black Reanimator and Painter, which are the matchups that matter, in my humble opinion. I mean, again, he might very well be listening to my words, thinking like, what a douche. He's so wrong, but no, I genuinely think that this style is just like a little bit more balanced, and that, Recruiter of the Guard is not a 2024 power play. I'll be really interested in seeing his list, though. The fact that he's taking so long to sideboard. Okay, OBS crashed yet again, but if I edit some of the stuff out, what happened was he did eventually overwhelm me with his more control-y build. He's ahead 3 minutes on the clock. This is definitely a mulligan. This is a keep, I think. Yeah. I'm just going to put back the redundant Felia because the long game, Solitude will be good. And I'm hoping that this game does go a little longer than the previous one. They may have brought in Harbinger because I didn't fetch any basics. I will fetch some basics this game, but I'm not going to aggressively fetch them, especially when I have Solitude. Solitude does deal with Harbinger. That does make me not want to Surveil because it's just free tempo for them. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to go ahead and go black and blue, and I'm going to Psychic Frog now. And they may just untap and... Okay, so this is the blue, or actually this is the black. Now we'll get blue. Also, this is I think the 8th league match that I played today, and my brain is a little fatigued. So if I seem to be not fighting as hard as I should be, just keep that in context. I'm pretty tired. Okay, so that got the force. That's good. That's a Hymn to Torque effect. They pitched a Brainstorm. And I'm also kind of babysitting OBS to try to make sure it doesn't crash again. All right. They are playing janklands.deck. We have the ability to just go get another basic here. I think that's what we'll do. We'll just instep Felia off of a plains. This may have the upside of them thinking that we're ourselves on Harbinger, so maybe they'll fetch more carefully as a result. I don't know. I do not purport to have any game on this person, but I'm going to do my best. So Felia comes in. Felia doesn't have any targets, but I am going to start hitting. Okay, Snuff Out. That is a card you can play. I am just going to go to their white source. Okay, and then I'm going to go post-combat and just keep them guessing. Okay. They have their own Felia, which could be an issue. So I think what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to put Yorion into my hand. I don't have anything else to do. And then I can pitch cast Solitude if I absolutely need to. If they play the Overlord, that would be a good reason to go ahead and get rid of Felia. But if they're not going to do anything, if they're just going to be attacking, that's fine. I'll let them attack here. I can bounce it next turn, and then since I'm far ahead in lands, if they waste me, that's okay. I only have one Karakas in my entire deck. Okay, so they're also putting that in their hand, gearing up for a longer battle. It's a tempo positive thing. Okay, so I'm going to definitely play this out. All right, Marsh Flats. We don't have any more basics in our deck to grab, so I'm not going to bother with that. What I'll do is I will just wait until beginning of combat, and I'll bounce it. Or whenever they waste it. They may waste it immediately. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and bounce it. They don't immediately have a way to play it back out. They may have a white source and they can play it. They drew a wasteland. Okay, that's good to know. They are... I would love to find wastelands of my own, but I'm only playing 3. Gilded Drake is good. I think I'm just going to play this out, and I am going to attack. I'm not worried about them doing anything at instant speed with these colors, and I'll just pass. And so, even though likely this is going to get wasted, I am still going to get some mana out of it before it dies. I'll just do it during my turn. So they're playing, this is another bad land that I would never put in my deck, frankly. Like, I just don't think they're very good. They are getting closer to Yorin mana, and I have so little going on. It is tempting for sure to just get a Surveil here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go get Surveil land and see what they do about it. I think they'll just waste it. That is definitely staying on top. That's a good card. Are they going to waste it? They should. Okay, they do. I say they should. I don't know what's in their hand, but like, I would probably waste it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Every damage matters. This is going to be a long, kind of grindy game. We do have lots of cards in our graveyard, thankfully. I'm going to make them think that I have Plow. Okay, we get the trigger. I will get Felia back. And I'll pass. Felia is quite good with Overlord out. And then after Felia hits Overlord, she can potentially hit Strix as well. So this is a situation where had I not surveilled, I would have been able to do something there. I'm going to go in and attack here. If we hadn't been attacking, they would be like 3 life higher than they are. I think we just pass and Felia end step. I don't think they have any sorcery speed thing that they can do. Or so it probably won't matter, but I'll wait till they're in step. They could have the creature, I can't remember his name. I will probably brainstorm and force if they do something to interact here, because this is really powerful for me if I get to do this. Snuff out again. Interesting. I don't want to get an imperfect brainstorm. The odds of me finding a brainstorm are 4, so it's like 1. It's really low. It's 1 in 20, basically. No, not 1 in 20. It's slightly higher than that. I'm just gonna let that happen. They are paying life for that. Okay, I'm just gonna attack first. If they have, they won't be playing her out to block Hemio. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out. I'm gonna attempt to get a perfect brainstorm. Okay, we didn't get a perfect brainstorm, but we did find a second Felia. And importantly, I do think we play second Felia instead of playing. So I'll put this back. This is a someday maybe. Strix is also, actually Strix is not bad, because Strix represents some inevitability. Yeah, I think I'm going to play this out and just see what they do here. So it's worth noting that we will clear one of those cards when Felia flickers this. If that's somehow successful, I doubt it will be. I do think it's more powerful to Felia than it is to Psychic Frog. Okay. All right. They do have Hardcast Force up now. They've used one of their 4 forces. They may have some others. Okay. That's in. Are they going to plow it? They are going to plow it. Okay. That's fine. That's as expected. We're getting through their removal. We're doing damage to them. There's a possibility that we draw a land off this. I do think, however, I think I attack first and see what they do. And then I think we frog. Frog just represents like GG for them, basically. So they're going to have to do something here. They do have Vial. They could Drake it. If they Drake it, I'll Solitude the Drake itself before the exchange can happen. Okay, they are playing Backstreet, so they may be playing 3 Surveil lands. They're playing so many non-basics. I can't imagine them being able to get away with Felia. So I guess the question is, do we want to just get rid of Felia? I'm not sure what Felia is going to target. Felia would probably target Psychic Frog, but if there's a reason to kill Felia, I will do it. I'm not gonna not do it, but this does give them the ability to potentially bounce it back to hand. That resolves. Okay, they're going to combat. If they have something good, they could potentially blink it, put it in, but they're not targeting anything. Okay. So there's like definitely an argument for not killing Felia just because I don't want to give him a bunch of life. I am going to get this Overlord. They may have removal for it. They're down to 2 cards. I have no idea what's in their hand. 3-drop. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for the attack here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and play out a Strix. I'll play out a land. That's fine. They're dead to just what's already on the table. Not quite dead. If I Yorion here, that'll be really powerful. I'll probably attack and then Yorion. Plague Engineer is unfortunate, for sure. It's a card I don't even play, so it wasn't really on my radar. Okay, they're going to blink that. That's fine. Are they turning the corner here? I'll be interested to see what they name. Okay, so Plague Engineer's coming back in. I still don't really see a good Drake target. They could have Solitudes coming off of this. I'm scared to Solitude because they could Drake it and gain some life. I'm going to go get my Surveil land. I'm running low on time. They're playing much more efficiently than me, and they're probably aware of that, the fact that I'm not going to have time to mount a good defense next game. That goes in the graveyard. Okay, so I think just killing Felia is totally legit. I'm just going to do it now. This is going to give them some life. Do they have something that bounces that out of play? No. Okay. I'm just going to pass. Oh, they did name Elemental when it came back. So if they can somehow ping it, or I'm not sure what they play. They play a bunch of cards that I don't play. So in a way, we're kind of almost playing like different decks. What is this? Recruiter. Okay. So they can get a 5-drop. They can get their own Solitude. What do they get? Baleful Strix. It's fine. Yeah, I think they're kind of slipping my grip here. Okay, let's see what they put in here. This could be Yorion. Okay, so I think this is an opportunity for us to just go ahead and get rid of Recruiter, which is going to be very problematic. I don't think our own Yorion. Well, our own Yorion is actually pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm going to hit Recruiter. Yeah, and then I'll just hope that my own Yorion with Solitude can do something here. So this might be the wrong play, but I'm also responding to time pressure since, we're going to have to win the next game too. Okay, so now they can blink stuff. I should have probably waited to see if they were going to target, but of course they're going to target it. They're just going to target Strix, I bet. Okay, and Strix will come back in and they'll draw a card. And then I'm going to Yorion, and I'm going to target their Yorion with Solitude when it comes back into play. But they are gaining a lot of life, and importantly, they're gaining a lot of time on clock. Okay. So I think we hold the Drake just for force. So I have to manually click this. It's a very click-intensive deck. Okay, so now I'll just... Okay. Yes. Can I target this? Okay. I just want to make sure it didn't somehow do it without me being able to target. Okay, now I'm just going to hit the Yorion, so they don't get a way to loop it. And then I can just win through swinging with Yorion, I guess, if they don't have something explosive they can do here. I do think it was correct, based on what I've seen, to hit the Recruiter. This can change the composition of their hand a lot. I mean, maybe they don't find a 5-drop. Gilded Draking the Baleful Strix is not the worst, because then I can just attack in, and Strix can stay back. But if they blink Plague Engineer, they can kill. Okay. This is a force, for sure. This gets them who knows what. Tameo is fine. All right. Let's see what I draw. Flicker Wisp is really good. So I think I'm just going to Flicker Wisp, Solitude, and then win next turn. Or not win, but attack and try to win next turn. I'll have a lot of attackers here. Wait, where'd my Flicker... Oh, my Flicker Wisp just died immediately. That sucks. I didn't think about that. I'm just going to hit the Strix. Yeah, that was surprising. I need to pay attention to the fact that it was an elemental here. But the trigger still goes on the stack, and I'll just hit the Strix. And they are going to be able to potentially attack in, but they'll need to draw twice to flip her before she hits Yorion. Okay. So they're getting some surveil action, and they have one card. They have the Vial on 5, which is terrifying. I mean, if they draw one of their Solitudes, I don't know how many Solitudes they play, but eventually they will draw one. If Plague Engineer attacks, I will trade with Solitude just to get it off the table, because I am worried about them flicker. I'm not sure what they would do. Teferi is pretty scary. They can bounce my Yorion and buy a bunch of time. Now they can attack with Tameo and Flipper, and that's bad news for sure. Yeah, I mean, like the time, like pressure is getting even worse now because it's going to take several turns to kill them. All right, and they should flip Tameo. I can have 6 through the turn since I can't do anything. Wouldn't be surprised if they had a way to counter. Next turn, they're going to be able to start pulling back like plows and stuff. That is not what I needed to see, but I am going to play it out just so I can surveil. Okay, and then we're just going to do what we do. Oops. And I have to pay all this mana again. I'm not sure. Okay, I guess because it's got multiple ways you can pay the mana. Okay, so let's just target that. Done, and we're going to hit the Engineer, and this is like the world's slowest offensive. Yeah, and they're still at 13 minutes, so they've been playing way faster than me. All right, I'm just going to pass, and I'm going to... I think they're likely going to regrow Plow, but it doesn't matter. I'll yield till end step, and then I will fetch a Surveil land. There's not going to be a game 3, obviously, either because they win, which is most likely, or because I have time. But I'm learning a lot. Like, I'm going to definitely analyze this, and hopefully... Oh, that's pretty good. They're just hard casting it straight up. Or I guess they're just putting it out through Vial, yeah. And their deck has definitely stabilized. I have most of the same tools in my deck that they do. And I'm not completely sure why I'm getting stomped the way I am, but I'm sure there are reasons. And that excites me. The prospect of being able to learn why I'm losing so bad, what it is that JTL knows that I don't know. It's interesting they ticked up Tameo. That implies to me that they have an answer to Yorion. There. Yeah. And that's the ball game. Like, we're not coming back from that. I can go ahead and fetch and pretend that there's still some path to victory, but they're close to Tameo ultimating. They've got a Teferi out. Yeah, and I accidentally clicked through the ability to surveil. And Baron's not going to do it. Yeah, good games. Okay, so I'll have the video up. And we'll hopefully GTL can give me some insight into why I lost so badly there. But that was a 2-3 record, which is disappointing. Also, the fact that the video recording was screwed up, I apologize for that. So, not my finest league, but I do feel like the games that the matches that we won pretty decisively. The one that we lost, the last round and the first round against Stoneblade, those are the ones that I had the most to learn from. And Stoneblade is a lot easier to play than Esper Vial, so there is a chance that like I just can't get Esper Vial working, and Stoneblade has similarly good matchups against Blue-Black Reanimator. I mean, I don't think that that's likely the case, but if that is the case, then very much I may switch over to that because I've got a lot more experience playing Blue-Black or Esper Stoneblade. And actually, I think I'm going to play that. I'm going to try playing that since I did pay $20 for the formal wear. I'll probably try playing one of my old lists, but just modernizing it with. We can take a look at MTG 8, top 8 and Stoneblade. Yeah, and you can see it's kind of creeping up. There have been a few finishes. So this is Max Torsion's list, which is the one that basically won or tied for first place. And you can see that it does play a lot of basics. I don't like Jace. I think it sucks. I'm not impressed with Snapcaster. I own 4 Snapcaster. I love Snapcaster. I feel like it's too slow. I feel like Tameo is much better, and that Tameo should be the 4 of instead of having Jace. I'm sure Max Torsion chose to play Jace for the reasons he did, but I genuinely I can't fathom how that could be correct. I also think Batterskull is pretty bad. Maybe it's good against Eldrazi, but like I would much rather have Cryptic Coat. So those would probably be my main changes when I play this. Also, Ghost Vacuum. I mean, like, I don't want to have to buy yet another card. It seems like a bad card to me. It seems like there are way better things you can be doing, such as, Fairy Macabre, which is quite good. Yeah, 2 Lavinia. I don't even play a single Lavinia. I just don't think she's that great. She is good against the Carnforge decks that we've been losing to a lot. So maybe I should be playing one. But it would definitely be a sideboard, and I'm not sure what I would cut. I don't want to cut any of the cards in there because I think they're all vital. Maybe cut a Force of Negation in favor of a Lavinia. That would be one possible approach. But even if I do, I have no way of finding her. Like, I just have to get lucky and draw her. Whereas a lot of decks, like, I guess Max Torsion doesn't have a way to find her. Maybe that's why he's playing 2. And how many Force Negations? 2 Force Negations. So, yeah. All right, let's go back to the list. So this is the list we played today. This is the list we played today over here. It is my pick for what I would play if I were going to Eternal Weekend today, just based on the Flicker Wisps, based on the matchup against those matchups that I think really do matter, which are, again, Eldrazi, Painter, Moon Stompy, and Blue-Black Reanimator. But I could easily see myself losing to like lands or a really skilled Esper Vial player or a really skilled Stoneblade player, because it's not really designed to be able to beat those. It can kind of like value. I think it can beat Jeskai. I think it's well suited against Jeskai and Beanstalk, but yeah, I'm not sure, because the thing about Stoneblade is it can go really fast. It can go get Cauldra, and then and we kind of got beaten down, and we can definitely analyze the first round. But I think the main lesson for me is just that this deck requires a lot more practice. I'm playing way too slow, and I need to figure out how to play faster and make my decisions faster. And I think the only answer to that is just getting in the reps and practice. So I'm going to be doing that a lot, and you're going to see a lot more videos with this. If you see a video on this and you're just, oh, another one, why don't you just play Blue-Black Tempo? I like watching Blue-Black Tempo videos. I may play some Blue-Black Tempo. I enjoy playing it, but I'm just not sure if I'm going to play it. And I want to do a little bit more research and testing before Eternal Weekend, because if I'm not going to be playing this, I might just commit to playing Blue-Black Tempo, and just every single video you would see would be like Blue-Black Tempo, basically, because I don't have enough time to really play test and create a lot of crazy lists like Bosch and Roll does. He's like a full-time creator. Every day he can do like some donation deck list, POX or whatever. But yeah, like I'm very like focused on prepping for Eternal Weekend with the limited time I have, and I want to be playing something that is my style, and that's probably Stoneblade, or if Stoneblade's good again, it's probably that, or it's probably this. And if those just prove to be flukes and I can't close rounds fast enough with either of those lists, and I'm just continually getting hammered by fair decks. I don't mind losing to combo decks, but this shouldn't be losing to fair decks. So that'll be definitely a smell, so to speak. Like that'll be like a scent that like something's off. So, but I really enjoyed playing these games. I thought a lot. I'm like very exhausted after playing this, and that is a consideration. Is Eternal Weekend, the first day is going to be like 9 rounds probably. So do I really want to play 9 rounds of this? Like, if I can get fast and get to where I'm like kind of autopiloting, sure. But Blue-Black Tempo would definitely be easier to pilot, and even though it may not have quite as favorable a matchup against Blue-Black Reanimator, that may be the list to go with. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.